Jürgen, you told my colleague earlier that Mo is fit and available to play. Could you just clarify the likelihood that he will start?
Oh, you want to have the starting lineup?
Yes.
No, he's obviously he trained yesterday completely normal. Will train today completely normal, as I would guess, and then he's available. What I make with the lineup, then you have to wait until tomorrow. But it's the same with Robbo. He trained yesterday as well, completely normal. So that's the same. The two guys, Millie and Joel, will not be available for tomorrow. We have to figure out exactly how long it will take. But tomorrow, there's not, they don't play.
Obviously, now a lot of teams have experienced their stadiums without any fans, but there isn't quite a stadium anywhere in the world that matches Anfield on a weekday night for atmosphere. Just how different do you think it's going to be?
Very, very different. But I only think about this when I get asked about it, because it's we know it since we trained since 4 weeks, around a bit more now. We were in the lockdown before for awful lot of time, so means we knew it. We knew it. It will not be there. So, and I for my rule for life is things I cannot change. I don't really think about. So, and that's how it is. Yes, football is not the same without supporters. 100%. Football would not be the game without supporters if they would have been never there. 100%. But in this moment, it's only a period where we have to play without supporters. So we have to make the best of it. And the derby is a good example for that. It was maybe not the best football game you've ever seen, but it's or you ever saw. But it was from intensity point of view, was the same like the other derbies were. So it was not. We didn't play like we played because there were no supporters or stuff like this. Yes, that's an effect as well. So we took it like it is. So we don't think about it anymore. It will be the first game at Anfield, but it's still a home game because we have our dressing room, we have all our things around. We know exactly where is what and stuff like this. So that feels already good when you walk in the dugout or in the dressing room area. So it feels already good. It's a home game, and that's what we might want to see on the pitch as well, of course. But in the end, no crowd, no atmosphere. We have to take that. But I like that part of the game from the derby now, really, because it looked for me like a proper football game. There was nothing different, but of course it is completely different.
Simon Crabtree. Thank you very much, Gary. Simon Crabtree, just for...
Hi, Jürgen. Is it possible, if you have missed it, to describe how much you've missed Anfield? And given that it's Crystal Palace and they were the last team to win a Premier League match there, albeit 55 games ago now, can you remember how that defeat left you feeling?
No, but I know how defeats feel. So that means it was for sure not a good day. But I didn't think that this will be the start of a pretty long period where we will not lose that night or that day. But it's long ago. I don't remember it, and I don't have to remember it to know that what we have to do tomorrow night. So it is a game against a very, very good side. Roy is doing an incredible job there. So the organization of the team is really, really, really highest level. Meanwhile, the team is physically strong. They have good individuals. It's a good setup. That all works pretty well. They have 4 games in a row, I think, without conceding a goal. So that's all very positive from their point of view. But we have our own targets, our own aims. We want to go with all we have, and we want to make a special game for us of this game. So it's of course important who we play, but whoever we would play, it would be the same with the specific information about the opponent. And in this case, it's Crystal Palace in a good moment. So that's all what we need to know. And from this point, we have to start our plan and what we want to do in this game. So the last game against Crystal Palace, or when we lost that game, I think the last game, was it the 4-3? Was when we won at home 4-3? I'm not 100% sure, but that was pretty special then as well. So we know, obviously, they know how to take chances, and we have to make sure that they will not have a lot, or in the best case, none.
Simon, one more, because you're obviously with us. Yeah.
Yeah, without wanting to sound like the Grinch or the bird of doom, obviously Manchester City could still catch you mathematically. Have you ever considered that? Have you ever thought about the unthinkable?
No, it's not about catching or whatever. I didn't finish that season before we started. So I said, okay, but it's now 22, 20, whatever number of points we have. As advantage, no. The only thing what I realized when I watched the game last night is how is it possible that anybody is 20 points ahead of this team? That's pretty much unthinkable, actually. That's unthinkable. So we must have done obviously a couple of things really well and right that we could have, but can have the situation here. But no, I don't think about City can catch us or whatever. I think about Crystal Palace. So, but how I said, it's whatever. If you are now a little bit, you are not with us, you make something bad of this. What I said, to make a big headline of it, City cannot catch up or whatever. I'm really only concerned about what we are doing, and I'm only think about what we have to do in the next game, and not what City is doing. I watch them because we play them on Thursday in a week, so in 8 days, 9 days, and that's why I watch them, and not for hoping that they lose or whatever. It was never like this. Maybe I wanted them to lose last year against Leicester, but that didn't work really well. So that's why I stopped doing that. It was only one time, it didn't help. So I don't do that. I watch them and I respect them a lot. I said that plenty of times. Yes, they look like they will win all the games they still have there, because they look really strong. But that's all. They were always strong. We are not so bad. Let's think about that.
Not sure if Zoom has a bleeper system, so I think you meant nonsense there.
We may edit that one out.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, I think you meant complete nonsense is what you meant. I'm sure.
And what did I say?
Well, never mind. That would be a disaster to repeat. Oh. John Murray, can we please unmute and save me from this catastrophe? Thank you very much, John, for the BBC.
Jürgen, hi. There were, I think all of the coaches were concerned, weren't they, about the length of the layoff and then the limited amount of build-up time. So, how did you feel that the players physically coped with the first match back? And how are you thinking now in terms of how to manage the fitness with the program ahead in the light of that?
Yeah, that's a challenge, 100%. So there were a couple of injuries, obviously now with other teams as well. Let's go through. James Milner felt his hamstring, but don't think it is not too serious. So and if you think about James Milner, trains 365 days a year, so he came back from lockdown and could play the next day. So that has nothing to do with that. Joel Matip, I think Richarlison, when he was in a challenge with Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin, and stepped on his foot, which is uncomfortable, has nothing to do with that. So there will be injuries, 100%. We all have to make sure that the boys are in the best possible shape. This now playing on Sunday, Wednesday, that's always a challenge for football managers. It's like these 2 days in between only. This is a real challenge. It's always like this. We have now Sunday, Wednesday, then Thursday next week, which is I would have preferred that it's different, but we cannot change that. We take what we get. After that, it will be really challenging, 100%, because after that, then I think I'm not 100% sure if all the fixtures are already out, but the next 4 games will be in kind of 9 days or so. That's a massive challenge, or 10 days. It's a real tough one, but it's for other teams the same. And we have just to make sure that recovery and treatment and stuff like this is absolutely spot on. That's what we have to do. We have a lot of tough periods in a year, and I don't know. I studied sports science, but I don't know what is better, to have 9 weeks off, train 4 weeks and play then, or to play like 14, 15 weeks and have then, like we have always at Christmas, around Christmas, have then like 10 games in, I don't know, 30 days, stuff like this. So I don't know what is better. So both is challenging 100%, but that's the job, and we have to make sure that we come through that as good as possible.
Okay, thank you, John. Appreciate it. Dave Chisnell from ITV. Just one question, Dave, if that's okay, please. Sorry, yes, Dave.
Of course, yeah, no problem at all. Hello, Jürgen. You've mentioned it already, but obviously, I know you've got Crystal Palace tomorrow, but then it's Manchester City up next. With quirky footballing destiny, do you almost feel that the title will be decided in that City game?
I don't know, and I didn't think. I watched City last night because we played them, but that was it. Right? I don't now start analyzing City, how they are in the moment, which will be difficult anyway. They made 8 changes last night, and we don't know which side they will play. But I have a specific way to play whoever is on the pitch, so we can prepare properly for that. but it's not. I don't make analysis of City now, and so I then don't think about City. I'm completely in the Crystal Palace game, so 100%. And I don't know about Destiny too much, honestly, and stuff like this. We have to play football games, and we love that, by the way. And then we have to win. And if we win, nobody can do. All the other teams can do what they want. They will not. They cannot catch us. That's how it is. So we don't have to think too much about it. We just have to play football, and that's what we try to do.
Fantastic, thank you. We're going to just finish off, Mike, before we come to you with the other TV, which I think is Matt Critchley. Matt, have you got a question, or are you something you want to ask? If you could keep it to one, that'd be grand. Thank you.
Yeah, just one question from me, please. Jürgen, can I just ask you about substitutes and the way that your job has perhaps changed a little bit over the change in rules now? Obviously, you made all 5 substitutes against Everton at the weekend. How has that affected the way you're managing the games, and how do you imagine it will affect the way you manage the games going forward?
Oh, it will be massively important in this, how I said, in a streak with 4, 5, 6 games in a really short period of time. But it will be massively important because you have then to make subs in a specific moment. When you think about played now 2 games over 90 minutes, and like in 6 days 3 games or whatever, then you have to make substitutions, or you have to change already before the game. Of course, that's how I said that sports science as well. We cannot just close our eyes and say same lineup all the time. In this game now, specific, it was like we had to make 2 subs. Like two players were injured, and we had to make substitutions, and the other 3 were then pretty much normal, but a little bit different. Maybe they would have been different if the other guys wouldn't have been injured. So that's clear. But it's how I said, it's really necessary that we have that for this upcoming very, very intense period with the last 5, 6 games in a really short period.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Matt. And then we'll go to radio. Mike Hughes, who's in his radio booth again, we can see. So 2 from you, please, Mike, if that's okay.
Hi there, Jürgen. Understandably, you spoke after the Derby match about lots of things that you liked, but noticeably the rhythm was missing in your play, and that will come with time. Very noticeable, and I know it's different for goalkeepers, but Allison, despite being a spectator for the most part, made 2 incredible saves towards the end of the game, and he really is a very special keeper. What are the sort of qualities that makes him as good as he is, and in terms of Liverpool now looking forward, how important is he to Liverpool's success in future years, do you think?
Yeah, very important, obviously. That's how it is. Having a good goalie is good thing to have, I would say. And we have one, and hopefully long may it continue like this. That's my only worry in this case. Not that he will leave or whatever, but just we need to keep him fit as well. So yeah, he's just the combination, the skill set, plus his mindset is a really interesting combination. And he's calm but lively. Really, from a physical point of view, on top of the game, football understanding, top of the game. So that's all, how I said, combination, really, really interesting. And yeah, he seems to be in a good shape, how I said. Hopefully it stays like this. It was now not, even these saves were not the most difficult he ever made in his life, but they were vital, 100%. But that's his job as well. So we should not make it bigger than it is. He would not want that. He knows that it's his job, and he did it. Yeah, and that's what you have to do until the rest of his career.
I'm sure you and the players would love to get the title sewn up as soon as you possibly can, get the victories that you need. Has there been a sense of you having to sort of to tell the players, maybe when you're going into matches, and I know you've only had one, but when you're in training sessions, that there's no need to go sort of hell for leather in matches, particularly that first game at Anfield, to try and force the issue?
I don't know. Honestly, in the end, when I thought about not this season in general, I thought it would be a cool thing to become champion with Liverpool one day. When this will be, I had not a lot of influence. Honestly, we tried to improve day by day, month by month, and year by year. That worked somehow. Now we are in the best possible situation to do it. Whenever it will happen this season, I'm not too much bothered about, to be honest. Of course, I would like to do it as early as possible, but just because it would mean we would win the next 2 games. That's the only reason for it. Apart from that, from a historic point of view, looking back, I don't think a lot of people will think about when it happened in that season. Was it match day 32, 33, 34, or whatever? That's not too important. So we don't see it like this. I don't see it like this. I want to win the football game. It would be nice to be it that, because we don't have to answer the questions anymore without really thinking about it. But yeah, that's pretty much all. We are fine, really fine with the situation. The first game, that it's the derby, was pretty special because these games have a specific history, not from a supporter's point of view, like it's the most important game. So how it is, so both teams really try to nullify each other, stuff like this, and we are always a little bit on the top and have more possession, stuff like this. But on the other side, they fight with all they have. Not that other teams wouldn't do that, but that's a little bit special. So it was, for a start, it was, you cannot choose when you want to play them, but the games are really intense from a psychological point of view, how they always are. So they are not normal games, and so that's now the game we got. And obviously, in the same moment, and that's then the other reason why you ask all a little bit like that. City is flying directly again. So in 2 games, I don't know, 8 goals or so, which is quite impressive, of course, but should not be a surprise for the people out there, because it's just a quality side. And so from that point of view, how's that? We are fine with our start, not overly happy, but now we have the second game, and it would be cool if we could, just play our game on highest level, and then it will be difficult. I said it will be difficult for us because Crystal Palace is quality, but we have to make it as difficult as possible for Crystal Palace as well, and that's one of the main things we thought about.
Okay, got a couple of hands up, which I've seen, which I'll try and get to, but we've got James from TalkSport, just to finish the radio element. Just one question, James, if you can unmute yourself. Can't see on our screen at the moment.
Hi, Jürgen.
Hi.
How much of an opportunity does the final 8 matches of the season offer the squad in terms of players maybe haven't received as many opportunities as they'd like, to prove that you don't need to invest too much this summer?
I don't need these games to know about my players, to be honest. I don't need these games for none of them. I see them every day in training. So, and we will not make any, whenever it will happen. Look, that's, you, hopefully you realize it as well. We play against Crystal Palace, but we talk about when we will be champion, or you ask me about, and then we talk about when will I use the players who didn't perform that long. How can we talk about that? It's unbelievable. I maybe understand the question, because no, I don't understand it, but it's in fact, and we really are in the situation. And my players, I know everything about my players, and I don't need to see them in a specific game to perform. And if they perform in that game, and then I say, okay, we plan with you for the future or not. Decisions about these kind of things are made in like so many moments over a year or 2 or 3 when we work together. So one game doesn't make a difference, and 2 or 3 games will not make a massive difference to judge a player. It's just about our ideas about our future, what is possible, what is not possible. But these are squad plannings or whatever, any plannings for the future. And in this moment here, I think only about tomorrow.
Thank you, James. Carl Markham in the top right corner of our screen with a what looks like a purple polo shirt. Carl.
It's black.
Okay.
Hi, Jürgen. There's a meeting on Thursday with the Safety Advisory Group to discuss whether the City game against you will take place at the Etihad or not. I'm just wondering, considering how well Sunday passed off, what your thoughts would be on that.
Honestly, if I look at my watch, I would prefer it's at Manchester. Otherwise, it would be really difficult to organize it. Honestly, I don't know exactly how that will be, but it will not be in Liverpool. It means we have to go somewhere where we both need a hotel, probably, or not. We don't know how to organize it. That's a little bit the issue. But apart from that, we play where people send us to. So that's we have no influence on that. But I would prefer it's at Manchester, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know about the process exactly. I wait until the final information it's confirmed at Manchester or not, and when, if not, where it will be. But I said it would be a challenge for both clubs now.
But just to follow up on that, that Sunday confirmed that there was fears beforehand or concerns raised that fans would turn up outside grounds, but I think Sunday proved that that wasn't going to be the case.
Maybe I don't know enough about the history of English football, so I could be concerned about the City game against us. I don't know exactly. I think the City Stadium is pretty well located to close it down. If somebody would be there, it would be not really close to the stadium, but I don't see that. The people are, the whole period now which we are in showed that the massive majority of people really behave responsible. So and serious and take the situation like it is. So the discipline level is probably as high as never before. And so I was not worried about that, because I know football fans since I'm 5 years old, and how I said, 98% of them are completely fine and have the same view on life like I have. So means and love similar things than I do. So in this moment in time, I was not worried about that, but I don't know enough about it, and I hope we can do it there. And Sunday was a good example, 100%.
Okay, thank you, Carl. I'm now going to go to the hands up system. So rather than just go through the normals and that, so the guys who normally ask, feel free to use the hands up system. So we'll go to I think Hideo from Kyoto News. If you'd like to unmute yourself for one question, if I've pronounced your name right there. Yes, you're welcome.
Hi, Jürgen.
Hi.
Hi. You said after the Everton match about Minamino, he played well. So can you expand on that a little bit and talk about what you actually liked from his performance, and also what he needs to do more?
Oh yes, we had a lot of good parts in the game. The parts which were good in the game, people never see when you don't win the game. That's pretty much like it is. Nobody's interested in a good pressing on a good counter pressing. If you don't win the game, then it's only part of, oh my God, nobody shot a goal, stuff like this. I know that since 20 years, but it still was good. So our organization was good, fitness level was good. A lot of things were good. And this game, from our point of view, would have needed a goal, honestly. That's how it is. And then things become easier, or are getting easier. And that didn't happen that day. And so it was just a fight until the end. I'm fine with that. I watched so many games in my life, and I saw so many games which were worse than that on Sunday. But it's, of course, our standards are really high meanwhile, and our expectations are really high. So it was not that we left the pitch and thought, oh my God, what a great day that was. But so we are pretty self-critical as well. So, but it's one game, so nothing else. And so a lot of things were good. And then I said it after the game directly. The things we need to improve is a little bit of fluency in specific moment, overview in specific moment, using the gaps we create in other moments, using the offers we make in other moments, or using the space we create with our offers. So that's football. Positioning was good. Build-up was exceptional. So how we stepped in specific situations. So how's that? From a football coach point of view, you could see a lot of good things. From a football supporter point of view, maybe it was not the most exciting game in the world, but that's what we have to take now, and we will try again, and we'll try for sure to do better, and we have to do, because Crystal Palace will ask for that.
Okay, guys, in the absence of any more hands up on the participants list, I will say thank you very much, and we'll probably speak to a lot of you post-match on Wednesday, and if not, certainly before the City game. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.